Maingot, by the authority vested in me, I have pleasure in conferring on you the degree of Doctor of Laws honoris causa of the University of the West Indies. My sincere congratulations. I will Dr. Maingot to address the company.
Professor the Honorable Sir George Allen, Chancellor of the University of the West Indies. Professor E. Nigel Harris, Vice Chancellor of the University of the West Indies. Mr. C. Williams Aiton, University Registrar. Professor Clement Sankat, Pro-Vice Chancellor and Campus Principal of the University of the West Indies, St. Augustine. Other distinguished members of the Platform Party, members of Cabinet, members of the Diplomatic Corps, heads, chief executive officers of the business sector, members of campus management, deans, and members of staff of the UE St. Augustine campus, Students and Alumni Association, graduating students of the faculties of Science and Technology and Food and Agriculture, other distinguished guests, members of the media. Today I feel greatly humbled at the thought of receiving an honorary degree from our University of the West Indies. And I also feel the challenge to be given the honor of addressing you young graduates as you step out into the future with the world as your oyster. As I pondered and prayed about what I could possibly share with you, young, bright, and excited group of successful students, the words of an incredible and holy man of our time, spoken to young people, filled my mind, and I quote, "It is God who stirs in you the desire to do something great with your lives, the will to follow an ideal, the refusal to allow yourselves to be ground down by mediocrity, the courage to commit yourself humbly and patiently to improving yourselves and society, making the world more human and fraternal. Do not be afraid. Put out into the deep and cast out your nets for a catch." These are the words. Permit me to expand briefly on these few but powerful statements in relation to my own life. Firstly, it is God who stirs in you the desire to do something great with your life, follow an ideal. You are graduating with a degree in Science and Technology, and maybe for some of you, this statement is somewhat questionable. I can relate to this thought as I remember the day myself in my own life when I would have questioned the reality of God. I don't intend in this talk to try to make you believe in God. No, this is not my intention. But I would like to share with you a special moment in my life. Here I am, a young single woman, great job, great friends, enjoying great lives and parties, or fêtes, as we used to say, in wonderful holidays, filled with joy and excited about what lay before me. And suddenly one night, El Shaddai, the most powerful God, exploded into my consciousness with a loud, booming voice and commissioned me to love and to show the world how to love. That was the most important moment in my life. In that moment, my life changed. Any thoughts I had previously about the non-existence of God disappeared. Seek after the rest of my life. For me, a big bang moment in my life. That was almost 40 years ago. Soon after that experience, I was introduced to the co-founder of our community, Rose Jackman, who is present here today. Praise be to God. Who at that time was a religious sister in Rosary Convent in Port of Spain. After some months, and with permission from her superiors, Rose joined me in my quest to love and to show the world how to love. Feeding and caring for the poor in the hills and streets of Port of Spain soon became a regular activity for us, along with spiritual feeding and caring for the many souls who had begun to commit themselves to our mission of love. The rest is history, and the reason why I stand here today. A humble, joyful servant of El Shaddai, daily trying to follow the ideal of love and show the world how to love. Indeed, sisters and brothers, this is a very great ideal and a daunting task, which for me is impossible. But I believe nothing is impossible with God. Not by my power does this happen, or anything I can do myself, but as a quote taken from the Holy Scriptures says, "It is this God working in you, giving you the desire and to do what pleases him." Yes, you sisters and brothers, young beautiful people, on the threshold of your life in the working world, you also have in you all that it takes for you to bring about that seemingly impossible and beautiful dream you have in your heart today. Do not be afraid. The second part of our quotation, and I quote, "The refusal to allow yourselves to be ground down by mediocrity." I like to read the lives of saints because they emulate for me excellence in holiness. Many of these saints have been canonized by the Church. Recent ones, whom you may have heard about, are St. John the 23rd and St. John Paul II, canonized this year, and John Paul II, who visited our shores in 1985. But there are many other saints whom we meet in our life's journey. These holy men and women are mentors for me, because after my Big Bang experience, I earnestly desired that my life would be pleasing to God. Yes, this God who had captured me. Yes, my desire now was to become a saint, because saints please God. For me, there was only one way, and that was being on a journey to holiness. I soon realized that if this was what had to come about in my life, I could not allow myself to be ground down by mediocrity. I would have to strive for holiness every day of my life. This is not an easy journey, and I fail miserably many times, but by the grace of God, I will never give up. I am encouraged by a beautiful verse from Galatians in the Holy Scriptures. "Let us not grow tired of doing good, for in due time we shall reap our harvest if we do not give up." I do not go to a gym, but I understand that even when you feel so exhausted after you've been on the treadmill and running for 45 or 50 minutes, there your trainer will be at the side of you telling you, "Push again, go another 5 minutes." My treadmill is prayer. And when I feel that nudge in my heart to stop, there is another nudge that says to me, "Keep going, keep going. Yes, sisters and brothers, whatever our journey is in life, we must keep pushing the level of the bar higher. Set your goal to the highest. Strive every day to fulfill this goal, and when you fall, and I'm sure you will, don't give up, but get up. And go again with a determination for excellence and an inner conviction, refusing to allow yourself to be ground down by mediocrity. Do not be afraid, sisters and brothers. Cast out your nets. The courage to commit yourselves humbly and patiently to improving yourselves and society, making the world more human and fraternal, is the final piece of the quotation I would like to briefly reflect on today. Pope John Paul II once observed, and I quote, "Scientists, precisely because they know more, are called to serve more. Since the freedom they enjoy in research gives them access to specialized knowledge, they have the responsibility of using that knowledge wisely for the benefit of the entire human family." And this was an address he gave to the Pontifical Academy of Sciences in 2002. Today, sisters and brothers, we live in a world of pain and suffering. Right here in our land and throughout the whole world, we see this. And what is needed is for you and I to be our brother's keeper. The need for this is more urgent today than it has ever been. And yet, our secular society pushes us deeper into individualism. The challenge for you young people like yourselves to be committed to improving not only yourself, but the society in which you live, making the world more human and fraternal, is hugely difficult, as you are called to swim against the tide if this is what you want to do. Our world needs you to think and act not only with you in mind, but with your brother and sister in mind, especially those who are poor and vulnerable and those who have no voice. To whom much is given, sisters and brothers, much is expected. It was customary for us to feed the homeless on the streets at night, and one night, sandwich and soup in hand, I looked for Nicholas to give him his food. Knowing that he had recently come out of hospital where we had taken him for treatment, I knelt before him and I said, "Nicholas, how are you tonight?" And as I looked into his eyes, I saw Jesus Christ look back at me. And I could hear myself saying, "Jesus, this is you." I recalled the words of Scripture, "Whatever you do to the least of my brothers, you do unto me." Our mission to love was clarified that day. Yes, we are our brother's keepers. I do believe that young people today are very idealistic and seek something much more than the world seems to be offering. And knowing our beautiful young Trinbogonians as I do, I'm sure that you here fit that category. You seek something much more than the world offers you. Pope Benedict, referring to the new technologies, says, "These technologies are truly a gift to humanity, and we must endeavor to ensure that the benefits they offer are put at the service of all. All human individuals and community, especially those who are most disadvantaged." Yes, each of you graduates have at your disposal all the various and exciting technologies in our world, which are a gift to humanity. You can use them. whatever way you choose. You can use them for personal gains, seeking only what benefits your life, what makes you happy, what makes you feel good, with no thought of your brother or sister. Or you can use them wisely and effectively. You can use them humbly with care and patience for the good of humanity. And sisters and brothers, you will make the world a better and more fraternal place. The choice is yours. It will always be your choice. I pray that you will choose always that which the world is so much in need of and which will give you and humanity life. Go, young sisters and brothers, do not be afraid. Put out into the deep and cast out your nets for a catch. The world is open to you. I thank you, and may God bless each and every one of you as you begin this new journey in your life today. Thank you.